Hey, how's it going, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. So the video you just watched, I don't know if you know it or not, it was not shot with a DJI Mavic drone. In fact, I've ditched DJI until they released the Osmo Action Camera. The video you just watched was shot with a new drone that I picked up a little while ago, maybe about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and it is the Parrot Anafi drone. I ditched DJI, I got rid of my Mavic 2 Pro because it was just a lot of drone that I wasn't using. I wasn't getting the full features out of it, the full potential out of it because, you know, usually I'm out working or I didn't have time to fly it and I go take it to a different country and I'm worried about the drone restrictions. So I thought I would cash out on it. I spent about $1,700 for it with the Fly More package at release, and I got about $1,600 for it actually after sale on a local sale. And I took that $1,600 and I went to look for another drone. And I thought about it. I thought hard about buying the Mavic 2 zoom because I really did like the zoom effect, and I really did like, I wanted to try the dolly zoom feature on it. But then again, I was getting back into that whole DJI thing, and I had $1,600 and I wanted to spend about half of it, so I looked around to see what I can get, and the Anafi popped up on my radar. So let's talk about the Anafi. You know, originally when I looked into Parrot drones, I was watching Casey, and Casey had bebops that flew away. I watched Dustin fly a disco and it flew away. I really wasn't interested in trying the Parrot. I thought they were probably one of these fly-by-night companies, even though they've got a decent amount of, I guess, popularity that will make you some kind of like an average or, you know, average drone, and if it flew away from you, it flew away from you. But when I looked into it, I saw that they were actually releasing 2 other drones. They had a Parrot Business, which is an Anafi Business, an Anafi Business drone which does 3D mapping, and then they had another one that was an Anafi Thermal which did thermal imaging. And I was like, if Parrot is investing in that type of technology, there must be something to this drone, and I thought I would try it out. So I gotta tell you, my initial thoughts on this thing is I am impressed. I'm actually surprised by the amount of features and quality that this drone has. The flight time is amazing at 25 minutes. This thing seems like it stays in the air longer than my Mavic 2 Pro. Also, the image quality is decent. For the quality of drone that you're getting here, you have a 4K camera that shoots up to 30 frames per second at 100 megabits per second. It also has a plethora of, I guess, flight modes that you can use. The majority of things that you will find on a DJI drone. You have like 4 or 5 different I guess follow me modes. You have time lapse, you have slow motion, you have waypoints, which originally didn't come out on the Mavic 2 until they did a firmware update. You have let's see, you have dolly zoom, you have lossless zoom, which means it'll zoom only to the point where it doesn't lose any image quality. And it takes a very decent image. The only thing I saw about the image quality when I use it as a camera is that the gimbal seems to lock up. Now on the DJI drones, this is not unusual. On the DJI drones, there's a setting in the feature, there is a setting that allows you to lock up your gimbal when you're taking photos. But when it does this, since this is only a 2-axis gimbal, and it's up there and it's in the wind, you can see the movement of the drone, but it still takes a pretty good shot. So video quality is pretty good. I mean, I'm comparing this to something like maybe like the Mavic Air. I'm not comparing it to like a Mavic Pro or a Mavic a Phantom 4 Pro or Mavic Pro 2. I'm comparing it to something around the Mavic Air, which is a little bit more expensive than the Anafi drone, and I thought I got decent video quality out of it. I'm also using, I guess as a disclaimer, an ND filter to get, you know, better image quality out of that. This is an inexpensive ND filter that I picked up online, and it worked pretty good. So all in all, man, I love these drones. Pros, it has a ton of features. I mean, in that 180 tilt up, that thing comes in handy. You can get some crazy shots on that I never really thought I would do with any of the other Mavic drones. Getting this thing pointed straight up in the air and being able to fly underneath the trees and be able to see, like, you know, the sun and get some sun flare off of it, or being able to fly under like bridges and stuff like that, and looking up or at a different angle coming back from underneath of a bridge, and then, you know, having it pan down on you as it's pulling away from you. Those are pretty cool things that you can do with it. I haven't learned all the features yet. I've been trying to, you know, feel them out, but there's a lot of them there. I guess the only negative, and I don't know if it's a negative, I guess I'm calling it a negative because I've been so used to DJI drones, is that the features seem to mesh or blend together. For example, if I were to put this in time lapse and then I did a follow mode, it would be filming time lapse follow mode. And that can get confusing because sometimes, based on the way that the actual settings are, you might forget to turn off one mode and go into a different mode thinking that it was just going to film that. And I've had some video where I was doing I guess a droney, and it was a time-lapse droney, which was cool. It was a very cool thing. I just didn't expect it to do it. But getting to understand and learn this and learn the settings on this a little bit more, I'm thinking I'll be able to do some decent work with this drone. And the only reason I really want a drone is so when I'm going on vacation, I can get some of those shots that you can't get from the ground, some of those high shots that will allow you to get some different angles and different perspectives. Now, another thing about this drone drone that I like is the fact that you can fly this with your phone. I love that about the Mavic Pro. The Mavic Pro, being DJI's groundbreaking drone, had the ability to fly with the phone. For this, it comes with a controller, which I have here. Put it down. The controller is kind of big and clunky. I do like the fact that the antenna kind of, flips up and it allows you to clamp your phone in underneath the antenna, but it's big, it's clunky, it's like an Xbox controller, right? Now let's say I wanted to do some follow me on an electric skateboard or on my motorcycle. I just connect this to my phone and have it follow me, put the phone in my pocket, and then I get those shots where I have my own cameraman, which, by the way, is a feature on the Anafi drone. So, I mean, a very, very cool drone with a lot of features. I think you might want to take a look at it if you're interested in buying a new drone, and this is probably something that I've never said in any of my other videos, being a Mavic fan. This drone is probably, you probably want to take a look at this drone because of the cost and what it can do. Let's talk about some negatives. Like I said, negatives, it is initial impressions when I got out of the box is like, what is this? A plastic toy? What is this thing? Is this real? Like, you flex the legs, it's kind of like flimsy, but I guess that all goes into the fact that it keeps it super light and gives you those super long flight times. But a positive on that is the fact that, it's probably so light that it's not going to destroy itself if it flew into a wall or a tree. I initially thought that this would be a bad design for the way that the legs folded out. If you can hear that, these legs have a very strong tactile click to them, and if you hit a tree or something, it's not necessarily going to fold them back and cause it to drop out of the sky. I guess I overestimated the quality of the springs that you could put in there, because the legs didn't seem like they clicked out far enough or were not locked out like the Mavics kind of swing out, and it allowed for maybe an engineering failure where it bumped into a wall or something and closed it up. But I don't think that's going to happen with this. In fact, if you're flying this, and what I have been doing, because I like to fly those super smooth video scenes, you keep this thing in turtle mode, which you can adjust. You can adjust turtle mode or rabbit mode to the speed you want. I turn turtle mode all the way down. It's like I'm always flying in tripod mode on a DJI drone. Going up, coming down, going left, going right. It is super slow and super smooth. You're probably never going to break this drone by crashing it into something. But because it doesn't have obstacle avoidance, which is a negative, I'm probably going to want to put a pair of prop guards on it, because, I never know. When I'm flying, I was actually trying to fly around a tree. I had the camera pointed straight up and I was flying around the trunk of the tree, and it's kind of hard to pay attention to the drone camera, pay attention to the screen, and fly the orbit and get the right shot as you're doing it. So probably put a pair of prop guards on it just so I don't break the props, but the props are inexpensive, and I think it came with a whole set of additional props. Positive about this drone is when you crash it, or if you do crash it, you can buy additional parts from Anafi or from Parrot. So I saw motors for sale, saw props for sale. I'm pretty sure like if I broke one of these arms, this is like a really thin, inexpensive arm. It's probably it's kind of maybe like build like a racing drone. It's probably got some wires down here that go into the controller that control this motor. And you can replace these or swap these out really easily. It seems like it has, simple setup where the screws kind of just like, or I guess torque screws, not many that hold this together. And you probably able to pop this thing apart in no time and put another part back on it, which I like. I didn't like the fact that I had to send my DJI drone to DJI to replace a simple screw if I had to. I like a lot about it. I guess I'll say I like a lot about it. What don't I like about it? I don't like the fact that it's just a little bit heavier than it will require for me to not have to register it with the FAA. I mean, it's like 70 grams heavier than having to, if it were 70 grams lighter, maybe 50 to 70 grams lighter, you would not have to register this with the FAA, which some of you guys may agree with, some of you guys may not agree with, but I think that this is the type of drone that I wouldn't want to have to register. The software system does not give you those annoying, hey, you're flying in this zone, do you accept, blah, 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 did you update this, did you do that, did you do this? I mean, I appreciate DJI trying to stay ahead of, I guess some of the dummies out there with their security systems, but sometimes I don't need all that security measure to go take a shot of myself in a park with a drone. And this is the drone I want to do it with. Flip it open, get the shot, bring it down, and I'm good to go. Range-wise, people are reporting this thing getting about 2 miles. I live in a pretty Wi-Fi, I guess, saturated area with all of the, antennas and apartment buildings. Got a decent range on it, far enough that I can see it. I'm not really trying to fly 2 miles and get it back. I flew kind of like an orbit around a cell phone antenna to see what happened at the risk of losing my brand new drone. Nothing happened at all. But the Wi-Fi signal, I can tell you, is a little bit spotty. I think it's a little bit spotty like when I had Spark, where initially people were getting those, those Wi-Fi signal issues, and then they were plugging directly into the phone from the controller, and it kind of went away. I'm getting that. Sometimes this thing will be right in front of me, and it'll say spotty Wi-Fi, please adjust. And it may be the antenna. Maybe I'm not pointing in the right direction. But I think with a little bit of ingenuity, I can definitely fix the range issues with this antenna. I would just go out and buy another set of antennas and put them on there and call it a wrap. Being that I can fly this with my phone, or the controller, I think when I want to use the controller, I wouldn't mind having, you know, an additional set of antennas sticking out of this, because I mean, it really isn't, like I said, it's not that small. It's like an Xbox controller. It's not like something you want to carry in your pocket, so an additional antenna set on it wouldn't be that much of an inconvenience. If I wanted to do short little video flights with it, like I said, I think I got 100 feet plus on it with my phone, I think you're good to go. So that is my initial impressions of the Parrot Anafi drone. You might really want to consider this if you're thinking about buying the DJI Mavic 2 Zoom. Now, again, if you want that 1-inch sensor, I mean, in my opinion, the Mavic 2 Pro image quality was not as good as the Phantom 4 Pro. So if I wanted something for image quality, probably would go with the Phantom 4 Pro. And if I wanted something for, you know, just, you know, getting a decent video, I would probably go with the Mavic 2 Zoom, because it's cheaper than the Mavic 2 Pro. But then if I was thinking about going with the Mavic 2 Zoom, if this makes sense, I probably would go with the Parrot Anafi, because it does have all those zoom effects. It has a ton of features that you can use, waypoints, orbits, stuff like that, and it costs about half. Maybe not even half. It costs about 500 bucks, whereas the Mavic 2 Pro costs 12. Wondering what I've been doing. I've been getting into a lot of different things, which I normally do. I got a couple of aquariums over here now. As you can see, my motorcycle helmet. I've had like 3 motorcycles in the time that I've shot 3 videos, and I'm still traveling a lot. So I wanted to keep this, you know, in my like travel kit. And I just want to get back to you guys and let you know that I'm coming back, and I'm coming back with some new information on some new gadgetry that's coming out. I might have mentioned it a little bit earlier, the DJI Osmo action camera, maybe a winner. So hey, thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting the channel. I'll get back to you soon. Talk to you later. Bye.